Welcome to this video presentation in which we'll understand how to create a virtual machine on your computer and then take it forward towards installing other operating systems on your host operating system. In this tutorial, we'll be using Oracle's Virtualbox. We'll download it from Oracle's website, install it on a machine, create a virtual machine, and we'll understand all the steps that we take to create that virtual machine. And then going forward in the coming video presentations, we'll understand how to install a Fedora Linux operating system onto the virtual machine that we create. The concept of a virtual machine is quite simple. It's something for you to experiment if you are at the learning stage. It is for you to experiment without any fear of losing data, without any fear of doing a damage to your machine. The steps are simple, the software is simple. You need to download it, install it, and create a virtual machine. We'll take you through all the steps towards creating this virtual machine. For a text version of this video presentation, you can log into our website mindfieldlabs.com. On to the left hand side, you'll find a section for technical articles in which you can go and read this article, which has screenshots about all the steps that we'll be performing in this video presentation. Okay, let's get started with the first step, in which we'll be downloading Oracle's Virtualbox onto a machine. The download URL for the same is highlighted over here. So just from the link that I'm showing, I would open up the Oracle's virtualbox.org website, and according to the operating system that you have, you can download whichever package suits you. So right now I'm working on Windows 7 operating system, which is obviously 34-bit, so I would go for the x86 version. So once I click this, the download starts. I'll keep it at a preferred location and then take it forward from there. So before this presentation, I already downloaded it on my machine and I kept it into my downloads folder. So I'll start the installation from this file by simply double clicking this file. Okay, we see the wizard to install the virtual machine. I would go with the default settings which are shown over here, with the default location that is shown over here, just given the fact that I already have good amount of empty space into my C drive. Okay, I would still go with the default option, simple. Now this is a simple warning which says, in case you install this, your Ethernet, your Wi-Fi, it might be restarted into the process. If you're logged in, if you are online, your internet connection might be disrupted for a moment. So we need to proceed with this. I would simply say yes. Okay, this says click install to begin installation. This might be the last step. Now simply by clicking this, we started the installation. Now you can see on this side, my Ethernet connection is working. I'm logged in, I'm online, my internet is working. So during the installation, it might disrupt my Ethernet for a moment. It might stop my internet for a moment. Let's see. Just few more moments, and okay, now I just got logged off from my internet connection, just because over here you can see the cross sign, just because my Ethernet was reset. Okay, now he says that the Oracle's Virtualbox will be started the moment I click finish. I would go with this option. Now my Ethernet would restart, and it would be it will come back to normal after a moment. Okay, so this is the screen you can see, because it just started the virtual box software for us. Okay, now I just got this virtual machine option over here because before recording this video tutorial, I already had the Virtualbox software installed on my machine, and I already had a virtual machine created on my system. So in case you are opening up this window, what you should say is something like this, right? So there will be no virtual machine created for the first time. Obviously, we need to click on the new button on the left hand side, and you'll be shown the wizard to create a new virtual machine. As I said earlier, for the text version of this article, you can go to our website mindfieldlabs.com and read the article. You will see a step-by-step explanation of what is being done, exactly similar to what I'll be telling you into this in this video tutorial. Okay, we see the screen which says welcome to the new virtual machine wizard. I'll click next. Okay, this is the name you will provide to the virtual machine that you are creating. Just because I intend to install Linux operating systems onto this, the Fedora Linux operating system, I'll simply name my virtual machine as Fedora VM. Now the software is quite smart. I wrote Fedora and he automatically selected the operating system Linux for me from the given list, and he automatically selected the version Fedora for me. Just because my operating system, my machine is 32-bit, I would go with the 32-bit version of Fedora. I'll click next. Just a suggestion, give your virtual machine some friendly name in case you are creating a couple of or 3 or 4 virtual machines on your onto your computer, which is actually, I would say, not recommended, because generally people don't have high power machines. So any new virtual machine you create, it will eat up some RAM from your system. It will eat up a part of the hard disk, a part of some drive. So I would say create one, experiment with it, delete it, create the another one, experiment with it, delete it. But in case you plan to create 2-3 virtual machines, just give it some friendly name so that it's easier for you to remember it at a later stage. Okay, I'll click next. Now this is about sharing the memory that you have, the RAM that you have on your computer, with this virtual machine. Now for Fedora, I would recommend go with more than 1 GB plus for experimentation purpose. Otherwise the machine might get slow at a later stage. So because I have 4 GB of RAM onto this machine, I can still afford to give it like 2 GB and get away with it. So I would I actually have around 3 GB RAM onto this machine. So let me just select, okay, let me go with 1 GB. Fine. Let me just go with 1 GB of RAM for my Fedora virtual machine. I'll say next. Okay, now this is the screen which wants you to select a virtual hard disk for your virtual machine. Now this is where the easier part is for experimenting with the virtual machine. In case you are planning to have a dual installation on your machine, by dual installation I mean you already have Windows operating system and you are planning to go with a Linux installation also. In that case, you need to empty up a drive, then delete that whole partition from your machine, then put in the Fedora or the Linux the Linux CD into your CD-ROM, the Linux CD or DVD into your ROM, and then when you install that operating system, you create new partitions onto that deleted partition that you have on your hard disk. But for a virtual machine, the concept is simple. He's asking us to create a virtual hard disk, right? It is exactly similar to creating a file in any folder or in any drive. So because I don't have a virtual hard disk on my machine already, so I'll go with this option, create a new hard disk. Next, which will prompt you, which will show you a new wizard to create a new virtual hard disk. Now we have two options. Either you can go with a dynamically expanding storage, a hard disk which can dynamically expand. For example, if you're planning to create a virtual hard disk file, which is a file with the extension .vdi, I suppose. If you're planning to go with a virtual hard disk which will be kept in the D folder, the D drive, Now if you choose the dynamically expanding storage option, the virtual hard disk that you have, it will keep growing up. So I would suggest go with a fixed size storage. For Fedora operating system, I would recommend having like 15 GB of a virtual hard disk, just because I have enough space on my system. So I would go with 20 GB virtual hard disk for my Fedora installation on this virtual machine. So I would go with the fixed size storage option. I'll click next. Now this is the location where you'll store your virtual hard disk. As I said, it's just a file, so it's quite easy. You can put it anywhere you want. I already have a folder created into my D drive by the name Minefield Virtual Machines and Fedora, and this is the place where I would prefer keeping my virtual hard disk. So I said, I want to create my virtual hard disk into this folder, and this is the name provided to my virtual hard disk. It's a .vdi file, just a normal file kept into my folder. Anytime I want, I'm done with the experimentation purpose, anytime I want to delete my Fedora installation, I would simply go into this folder and delete this .vdi file. As I said, I have enough space into my D drive, so I would go with 20 GB of hard disk. Okay, let's make it full 20 GB. Okay, I would go with 20 GB of hard disk and hit next. A brief summary of the actions that we took, and on clicking finish, he'll take some time and create that virtual hard disk for me. Now the fun with virtual machines is that everything you do is virtual. No damage to your existing operating system, no damage to any data that you have on your machine. You might experience that the host operating system, the actual operating system that you have on your machine, in my case Windows 7 operating system, you'll notice that once you start your virtual machine, once you start booting up the virtual operating system that you have on your virtual machine, the host operating system, it might get a bit slow, and the reason is that we are actually sharing the RAM with the virtual operating system. Till the time your virtual machine is off, all the RAM is being used by your host operating system. So it will take some time to create the virtual hard disk. We'll just wait for a moment. Okay, we are almost done with the creation of the virtual hard drive. Okay, this is done, and we are back to the virtual machine creation wizard, and the summary for this is that this is the name of the virtual machine that we have. The OS type is Fedora, the base memory is almost 1 GB, and the virtual hard drive, which is kept in this folder. So this is the location where we asked the wizard to keep a virtual hard drive. So this is the virtual hard disk that you have. 20 GB is the size of this virtual hard drive that we have. The moment we say finish, you can see the virtual machine created, which is powered off right now. In case I just start my virtual machine, it would do nothing because we don't have an operating system onto this machine. This is the wizard that will take us through the steps of providing either an ISO file for the installation, or installing the new operating system that we'll install from the bootable DVD that we have. So we'll take it forward from this step in our next video presentation. For this video presentation, this was what we wanted to achieve. I hope you understood how to download the Oracle's Virtualbox software from their website, install it onto your machine, and then create this virtual machine on your computer.